Radiant team ban. Dire team ban.
Alright, ladies and gents, this is it. Game 5, the final game of the Amateur Dota 2 League Season 2. This is it. This is the last one. It's the last chance to get your items if you have the ticket in Dota 2 and then watch Dota 2 TV. And the last game of the series, and we're going to see the same bans that we've seen all 4 games of the series so far from both these teams. So if you're taking notes for next season, both these teams are afraid currently of Visage and Ember Spirit, and Doom and Invoker, respectively. And Tempest Gaming is going to show no fear and pick that Viper again, first pick. And you're going to get Bane Venomancer again. So both teams have a strategy that they think works, and they're going to rock it out. They're just going to rock out all day, try and make things happen. We are going to be on US East again. We alternated Luxembourg and US East for the series, and then we flipped a coin to decide where the last server was. That was the arrangement between the teams. Hopefully, when we do, I think we should try and institute some kind of a policy, just because the lag is having that ping is such a big disadvantage, unfortunately. But that's what happens when you have a global tournament like this. We're so diverse. We're not going to just have U.S. championships and stuff.
10 seconds remaining.
So we're going to have a Lich pickup from Tempest Gaming. I imagine we'll see Shadow Ranger play the solo offlane Lich. If I were Annie right now, I would expect to see an aggressive tri-lane from Tempest Gaming with the solo safe lane Lich. We're going to see Mirana and Luna both banned out by Tempest Gaming. I think those are the 2 smartest possible bans on the table right now. Mirana does so nicely with Venomancer alone, not to mention the Bane Elemental, and is such a strong hero. And Luna absolutely worked them last game. Annie's going to go ahead and ban out Nyx and Clockwork, so Tempest Gaming is going to have to come up with another support they want. Ancient Apparition is still on the table, though, so they do have that available. Not really sure what they're going to do, though. I don't think... I think Ancient Apparition would actually be a good pickup here. Cold Feet isn't a super reliable stun. The better players really are looking out for Cold Feet, and they know exactly how far 650 range is. So it's very, very unreliable unless you have some kind of a setup stun. Of course, they will have that Ice Blast from Lich just to keep heroes in the same place, just to ensure that Cold Feet damage comes through along with the stun. Annie will get that Weaver, though. Weaver has been so popular this game. Playing Weaver as a carry, very, very popular. I wonder who Tempest Gaming will choose as their carry right now. That's the biggest question for me. They will pick up the Rubik, so a lot of really good stuff to steal right now on the table for Annie. I mean, Poison Nova's great. Gale is even good. Fiend's Grip is obviously phenomenal. Sakuchi is hilarious to steal. So is Time Lapse. All kinds of good stuff on the table. Of course, Time Lapse you almost never get. Whoa, we're going to talk about that in a second, but finish this thought real quick, one at a time, folks. Time Lapse is impossible to steal because as soon as the Weaver Time Lapses, they will have that mana back, which will almost ensure their ability to Sakuchi immediately. So the only time you're ever going to get Time Lapse is if the Weaver is level 16, has 0 mana, or below whatever the Sakuchi is. So it's like 50 mana, 60 mana. So if Weaver's below 60 mana and casts Time Lapse above level 16 when she has 3 ranks of Time Lapse, is the only time you can possibly steal that. But it is hilarious to steal when it does happen. I like playing Rubik. I play a decent amount of Rubik. I'm not quite as good as I want to be quite yet, but, you know, practice makes perfect. But stealing stuff is just so satisfying for some reason. But most importantly, we see the Centaur Warrunner for Annie, and I don't know what they're gonna do with that. It must be... I feel like they should aggro try. Yeah, Annie should aggro try lane this with Veno, Bane, Weaver, because they know that Tempest Gaming is gonna aggro try since they picked Lich. So as soon as Tempest Gaming realizes that it's a Weaver, Bane, Venomancer, aggro tri lane, they will have to switch out and get their Lich away from them. From that, because Lich will not survive, just simply. It will not be good. And that will let Centaur Warrunner solo Lich against the Rubik support Drow Ranger tri-lane. Things are getting very strange. Tempest Gaming has picked up Drow Ranger, who has seen some play since the Silence got buffed. The Silence is actually much better now on Drow Ranger. It fires out like a wave, sort of. And it gives you a small ability to control the positioning of opponents' heroes, which is a very, very important attribute to any ability. So AD's going to ban out Skeleton King, which is an interesting ban. I don't think Tempest Gaming would ever choose Skeleton King. I imagine that they're going to safe lane this Drow. I feel like Tempest Gaming needs the support right now. Although they are sort of missing out on some disable. They've got Telekinesis, which is great, and they've got the Gust, the Drow Ranger Silence disable, but those aren't really, really great. I mean, Telekinesis is phenomenal, obviously, but you usually want to have more than one stun on your team. As we can see, Annie's already got the Nightmare from Bane and the Centaur Warrunner Stomp. Although that's not a whole lot of hard disable for either team. But Weaver is just so versatile, you don't really need a disable on Weaver, because you can just chase so hard. And then Venomancer's got Gale. And, you know, Venomancer adds so much to your team that you don't really need him to contribute a stun. But a hero like Lich, the lacking of the stun, what is going on? I have no idea what to expect. It must be Centaur Warrunner off lane. This is so crazy. I cannot believe Annie have decided to do this. So strange, so unorthodox. We have seen nothing but standard games from both teams this whole series. And then, of course, we see a lot of crazy stuff the 5th game. So, both teams pulling out all the stops, trying to take this finals game. The final game of these finals.
5 seconds remaining.
Man, Tempest Gaming's lineup is so squishy. Oh, man.
Reserve time.
Viper's the only hero with any durability at all in that whole lineup. And Centaur Warrunner eats Rubik for breakfast. One War Stomp into Double Edge is enough to pretty much murder a Rubik. And Centaur's actually really good against Drow Ranger, too. This is a very strange game. I think this is... I've casted a lot of games in this whole season of the Amateur Dota 2 League, and I don't think I've seen Centaur Warrunner a single time. So it's going to be a Vengeful Spirit support. So the 5th pick for Tempest Gaming is pretty standard, but things have already taken a very strange turn. Let's go ahead and introduce the players here for this final game. Playing for Annie, we're going to have the stand-in Ralphie playing that Bane Elemental. We'll see Lucy playing Venomancer, Ape playing Weaver, Evu playing Tinker. We're going to see Murd playing that Centaur Warrunner. On the opposite side for TmG, we're going to see Shadow Ranger playing that offlane Lich, Dreams playing Viper, Salfu playing Vengeful Spirit, especially on the Drow Ranger, and Frog on Rubik. Frog plays a fantastic Rubik. He played Rubik, I believe, in Game 2 of this series, and I was extremely impressed with his abilities. Very, very strong. We'll see if either team wants to try and do early game smoke madness. Neither team got the Ancient Apparition, so I don't give a distinct advantage to either team here in early game smoking. We're going to see one smoke out from Bane Elemental. He was solo smoked there, and it did run out. Or perhaps it ran out while I was trying to see Lucy and Ape. It would make no sense for him to solo smoke. So I imagine Lucy and Ape were both smoked up, and I just didn't see it. So my fault there. So we're going to see... Neither team really wants to be super aggressive here. After they've picked these wacky lineups, I'm actually a little surprised to see them not do something cheeky. I have not seen Evu play Tinker quite yet, or at all, this whole tournament, so we'll see if he plays a good one. Tinker's skill cap is so very high, and I think Tinker's actually a very good pickup against the Drow Ranger, just with Tinker's ability to move around the map and be all over the place. We'll see how long it takes Dreams to farm up that Blink Dagger, or Blink Dagger. The mechanism, of course. Tinker will be going for a Blink Dagger, I imagine, at some point after his Boots of Travel. Tinker's last hitting is actually... He has decent damage, but his animation is kind of funky. We'll see Dreams place a lane ward immediately, so he really wants to have vision over the Tinker, who has gone for Laser first, just for the mischance, I imagine. As we can see there, Tinker's last... It always takes, like, a wave and a half before you really, like, feel the rhythm. Because Tinker, like, rears up. Like, we'll watch him. He's like a cobra. Here he goes. Yeah! Yeah, it's like a weird cobra last hitting attack. So the delay is substantial. Viper's is very easy to read, rather. or in contrast. So we'll see how that happens. Murd in this offlane center, though, he has skilled return first. So this is what I was expecting. I mean, I just don't know if it's going to work. I mean, this Rubik Lich Drow tri-lane is, or Drow. Who did I say? Lich? Lich is offlane, of course. I'm losing my mind. It's game 5. Cut me some slack. I'm dehydrated. So we're going to see Vengeful Spirit Rubik Drow tri-lane, rather, which is still very, very dangerous. So the Centaur Warrunner is going to have a hell of a time trying not to die. And in fact, we see a rotation mid already from Ralphie. He's going to drop a ward there. He's going to pick up that DD rune. So that will improve his last hitting a great deal for the first few minutes here. And Dreams could be getting ganked early. I'm not sure if that's a... Oh gosh, that was weird. Not sure if that's a huge advantage, or if that's a great use of time for Ralphie right now. I really feel like they should be trying to kill this Lich. I feel like... Yeah, there we go. Lucy's going to come around and Gale. This is what they should have been doing all game long. We'll see Shadow Ranger get caught in the trees. He's got it. One more tank. If he eats through that tree, he can run around. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? If he gets a kill here on anybody, I'm going to lose my mind. Lucy is now trapped, but we see another support rotating behind. Ralphie's going to come around, TP in from the Vengeful Spirit. So Ape's going to be in the trees here. Shadow Ranger's going to have to run down to tower. Ralphie's going to get caught in tower hits. Oh, Sulfu's going to take a lot of damage. Ape's almost going to get that first blood. Rubik's going to come for a revenge kill, though. Meanwhile, Tinker gets a solo kill on Viper. How did that happen? That must have been a tower dive of some kind. But man, what a strange engagement that was. Bottom, Shadow Rangers came in through these trees, and there was a tree right there, and he ate it and was able to sneak out. So very cheeky play from him. I was going to just make a comment about how Annie needs to punish that Lich offlane. I mean, Lich is just... He's a good offlane, he gets levels, but he's very easy to kill unless, evidently, Shadow Ranger's playing him, in which case it's impossible. Because this is the 3rd or 4th game that they've done this Lich solo offlane stuff, and it has worked every time. They've really not been able... Annie has not been able to punish this. We'll see Ape possibly diving here. Lucy as well. Gale connects. They certainly must kill him now. And there it is. Okay, so Ape gets another kill, so that's 2 kills for him in 3 minutes. So things are going much, much better for Annie this game than they have the last games. And Eva's actually got a haste rune here. He's going to actually come up here and try and get something done on Dreams. He's got laser and missile skills, so he's got a lot of burst damage. You've got to watch for that. 2 more right clicks, and the missile, I think, should get the kill. Ooh, see a salve coming out from Dreams. So Annie's really trying hard here. And this Centaur offlane, I don't believe this. I can't believe this is working. See, Dreams might actually get a kill here. 2 more right clicks would kill him. Nope, Tower's going to fend him off for now. And Evu's got the bottle, and he's going to eat his last tango, so he'll get back up to a decent amount of health. We'll see where the rune comes up. Both teams are contesting rune right now. It's going to be bottom. Ralphie's going to find this regen rune. We'll see if he takes it or denies it. Maybe Lucy will even come get it. Nope, it's going to be the Tinker, but it's actually going to be contested by Shadow Ranger, but he cannot go down there. There are already 2 heroes down from Annie, so they will be able to secure this rune. Very important to contest runes if you're a support in a game like this. So we'll see the Centaur doing some nice creep pulling rather, there. Looks like Frog on the Rubik was trying through action. I believe he did, and then Centaur was able to aggro the creeps himself. So, nice job there to shift that lane equilibrium around a little bit, get some more XP, but ooh, you could actually be very careful there. Ooh. 1 telekinesis from Rubik, and you can be so caught out of position. I mean, we see no tangos left on Murd Centaur, so if he gets telekinesis over here, he's going to have to run all the way back around before he can escape, and that will be the end of him, I imagine. Let's go ahead and take a look at the last hitting. We're 5 minutes into the game, so it's usually about when I like to... Oops, that's not what I'm looking for. There we go. Check out the last hitting. Drow Ranger actually leading the last hitting. TmG especially 22 and 10 right now. Make that 23, so he just continues to farm right now. So that Centaur's unable to stop the Drow Ranger from farming. Surprise, surprise. And then Viper's 20 and 9 right now. So last hitting the Tinker quite substantially. I mean, Tinker's 12 and 3 right now. Although as I said before, Tinker's last hitting, his animation is kind of funky. So it's a little bit harder, especially with the latency that Evu is having to deal with right now. Although he has gotten level 6, but he has forgone skilling rearm. This is sort of a stylistic choice. When you go for the max DPS Tinker like this, when you skill missile and laser, I do like to skip the rearm. You really just want to try and roam early and get kills, which is why it's so important that these runes get contested by his team. We'll see where the 6-minute rune comes up. It's going to be an Invis Tops. We'll see if he goes for that. We will have TmG spot out where the rune is, as will Annie. Annie will actually spot out what the rune is, not just where it is. We'll see the Centaur Warrunner ultimate, Stampede. That's actually the most important thing that Centaur contributes to your team. AoE stun is great, but it's unreliable. But that Stampede is so good. It gives you, it's the best initiation spell on the board right now, I think. It's very, very good. Like if Centaur had better lane presence, he would be picked much more often purely because of Stampede. So we're going to see Weaver leading the net worth chart just because of those kills and the first blood gold that they got. Drought Ranger's certainly competitive though, and the Viper's doing quite well as well. We will see him going for a fast mechanism, of course. Whew. And that 6-minute rune is still up for grabs right now. Tinker is just trying to get chipping damage on Viper right now, so you can go up and grab that. So he will wait for the laser again. He'll probably do laser missile shortly here, and then use his bottle, and then come and grab that. In fact, we see Bane telling, hey man, you need this up here, and I'm sure Evo already knew about that. He's just trying to get as much damage on Dreams as he possibly can. And there's the rocket, just going to spam him out. So he might even look to come back and gank. We'll see if he pops that Invis rune right away, and he will. So this will be a gank attempt on Dreams. We'll see if he smells it. Oh, I don't think he does. He's going to be caught in a lot of trouble right now. Ralphie might even come out with a nightmare. There's one right click from Tinker, followed by the missile. We'll see if he has the missile, or the laser rather, if he has the missile. Doesn't have it though. So that was not the most well-executed gank. They really could have gotten him there. And we'll see the supports for TmG going to be smoked up here. We'll see Soulfu and Frog going to try and make something happen mid here on the Tinker. Very important to gank Tinker before he can get that Soul Ring or the Travel Boots. Frog Smoke's going to get broken. He's going to look for that Telekinesis. Not going to get it though. So 2 ganks back-to-back for both teams. Not really going the way either team wants them to. We'll see Tinker breaking for this haste rune. It's going to be a race, though. Is he going to get there in time? He does have those Boots of Speed. Vengeful Spirit doesn't, so I believe that Vengeful will not be able to get there. Nope, not going to make it.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
So we'll see a push attempt perhaps coming out from Annie right now. They have a lot of Plague Wards getting dropped right now. Actually, we see the Tinker coming in as well. Stampede is follow. Rocket Laser gets the kill on Shadow Ranger. Ralphie's going to Nightmare onto the Soulfu Vengeful Spirit. Lucy's going to TP out of here. It's going to be very close. Ooh, my goodness. So the tower stands, but it's a 0-for-1 right now for Annie. 4-1 is the score. And Dreams could actually be in a lot of trouble right now if Eva doesn't TP away, but he does. Ravi's going to actually get caught out now. He does have Nightmare, but Soulfu's here. I don't know what he was doing there. Viper Strike's going to secure that kill. Dreams will turn his back and walk away like a boss because he doesn't even want to look at his dead opponent. Not worth his time. Well, it's 5-2 right now. Drow Ranger actually gets picked off. How did that happen? Who got the kill on that? Tinker again. So Tinker's all over the map right now, even without those Boots of Travel. So making a lot of really good plays early, and that's what you must do when you maximize these two skills. This is a really fun way to play Tinker, but it's not necessarily the best. But it would be impossible for him to skill March up against Viper because you would take damage every time one of the machines hit Viper and proc Corrosive Skin. So he's sort of forced into this skill build, even if he didn't want to go it. We'll see him actually get caught out here. Has no real way to escape the arrows, but he did use he used laser on the Drow Ranger there to make Drow unable to hit him with one of the slowing arrows. That's very, very good. We'll see Weaver get that hand of minus 9 minutes and 50 seconds into the game, so not the best timing for that, but he does have a Ring of Health, so that is what set him back so far. You must get that early Ring of Health on Weaver. There's no way you can stay in lane with your HP pool, especially against a hero like Lich, without it. Just looking at the net worth chart, we're going to see 4,000 for the Weaver, so still in the lead. We just see how much Frost Nova does there against Weaver. It does so much damage. You must have the health regen from that Ring of Health to be able to stay in lane and farm.
Is under attack.
You see Lucy actually going to get the double damage rune there. Not the best hero for that. But they do have a ward up here. Look at this. This ward will spot out especially. There's the Stampede. Lucy's going to go for a kill on especially here. There's the Gale. It does connect. We'll see especially use the Gust, but it's not going to be enough. So much damage already from Lucy. And Ebu's going to be here for the kill so if he so desires. But he will let his support get it like a true gentleman. So, man, we saw the power of that Stampede there. I mean, it just gives you so... It's like it gives you a Blink Dagger that takes half a second to cast, essentially. I mean, just having that max movement speed allows you to cover so much ground so fast and gives you an advantageous position in so many team fights. Murd will probably finish this up into a Vanguard. He might go for a sort of an old-schooly traditional kind of build where you go Vanguard Hood. It gives you a lot of durability for not a lot of money. And while you're building the items, it's punctuated really frequently by getting new items that contribute to your survivability. Like, basically, having a Vanguard Hood is... It's not quite like having a heart, but it's damn near close. And it's much easier to get those items. And you get a lot more advantage out of having the Vanguard than you would out of having, like, a Vitality booster for the heart. So that's why people go for those items, especially in the offlane. That would make a lot of sense. We'll see if that's what he does. I hear a tower going down to Viper right now, and Lucy's going to eat that Viper Strike, I imagine. Yep, it's on cooldown right now. The mechanism has been completed by Dreams, but Lucy's going to turn and go on this. Does he have Gale? No, he doesn't. He does have Poison Nova, though, but I don't think that'll be anything... I don't think he'll be able to do anything against the Viper. We could see an engagement bottom here. Action all over the map right now. We see Vengeful Spirit denying that tower top. Nice play there. There was a few heroes committed to pushing that lane. So I think the real problem for TmG right now is this Weaver. I mean, she's been farming quite well. Has finished that Perseverance up, so it will be a fast Linken's, of course. That will block Magic Missile, Telekinesis, Viper Strike, all manner of good spells. This is probably the best game for a Linken Sphere that we've seen in the series. We will see Ape not going for boots quite yet, especially with that Midas. That sort of makes sense. You really don't want to delay your Linkens very long. Not going to micro that illusion, though. Ape's not concerned with that, but he will use those illusions to tank some DPS from the Centaurs. Nice play. We see the anti-supports looking to crash the jungle here. They're looking for somebody to be in lane, but especially is over here creeping the woods. And she's finished a Midas as well, so a lot of Midas is coming out for both teams. And we'll see, oh, especially if you're not careful. If she runs up this way, she's going to get caught. Oh, Ralphie's going to catch her. There it is. We're going to see, oh, there's the reveal. Oh, so much. There's the Gust. Silence is on the Beta Elemental, so they have to find a Stomp here. They must get it. Stomp on 2. Double Edge to follow. So much damage. Brain Sap as well. Especially is going to get killed. So 1 for 0 right now. But now Viper's going to get a revenge kill on Murd. Almost certainly. There's the Magic Missile as well. He will try and deny himself with Double Edge, but it doesn't quite happen. Meanwhile, we're going to see we're going to see Lich and Tinker trade blows. So we can see Lich died here, Tinker died here. So they died in each other's arms. I imagine Chain Frost was involved. Yep, Chain Frost was certainly involved. So we will see the Boots of Travel finished on Tinker, though, and that's really important. 13 minutes is a very, very good time to have that. And so he has gone for the Boots of Travel before the Soul Ring, even. So with this skill build that the Tinker has gone, he will be looking for a lot of early kills. He'll just look for a hero that's farming, especially, for example. If Tinker was up right now and it was tactically advantageous, he could just teleport to lane on one of the creeps that especially is trying to farm and blow him up with Rocket Missile. So we'll see if that's what he wants to do, because he only has 1 rank of March, so it's not so great for pushing quite yet. Ape's going to try and dive in here a little bit. This is really dangerous for him. They will know where he is. Yeah, Shadow Ranger's going to start getting some damage on him. Ape will Sakuchi away, but Frog's trying to smell it out. Ooh. I feel like they should have dropped a sentry there and potentially gotten a kill on him. Ape wisely teleporting. Most people might teleport home after an engagement like that just because they're scared of being killed. Ape wisely just teleports to the lane where there's nobody there. There's nobody around. Nobody around there. He'll be able to get a lot of gold right now, and more importantly, getting that XP. Just so we can have some levels. He's already out-leveling Drow Ranger by 2, so that's really, really not good, especially he's in the woods right now. Just because the lane farm is so dangerous with the Tinker with Travels, and Stampede is giving Annie so much ganking power right now. It's very, very good. I'm surprised to see this working so well. Putting this one in the memory banks. Gonna remember this when I'm playing pubs later on. The problem with this offlane Centaur is that the Blink Dagger will be really delayed from him. Oh, this is so smart. This is something that I recommend every single player do. If you didn't see that, Dreams was nightmared in a really, really bad spot. He was right here, and there were 3 heroes from Annie looking to jump on him. And we saw the Vengeful Spirit, Solfu, way back in a much safer position. Oh gosh, we're going to talk about that later because we're just going to see a dive from Ape Sama. Especially was trying to gust there to keep Ape Sama away from him, but it's not going to be enough. Time lapse gets him out of there. We hear the Poison Nova get cast on 3 heroes, so Frog's going to take a lot of damage. He will TP back to base just to stay alive, and Solfu might even go down here. Does Venom have level 2 Gale? He does. This will be fatal damage on the Gale. Oh, not going to be enough though. Very close. If the Viper didn't have the mechanism there, that would have been real ugly. Or if Viper wasn't even there. Who was there? It was Rubik? I don't even know. But again, so we saw Solfu back here in a safe spot. A click on his teammate to bring the Nightmare onto himself. Very smart play. Very few people actually do that. Even in, like, I play like 4K, and that seldom ever happens. Very smart to do that. If he didn't do that, the chances that Annie jumped on Dreams was extremely high. We'll see Dreams getting the haste rune and probably going to get a kill on Lucy here. He will teleport out, though. Oh, he will escape. Lucy is too crafty. Of course, I say I play 4K MMR like that's good. My MMR's garbage. I just play for fun, though. It's all good. So we'll see Dream's going to be smoked up here. He'll come mid, but I don't think he'll be able to get anybody. I think that Annie will be too smart for that. They might have even seen him smoke, depending on where he was. Just with that, or with this ward, rather. So again, we see Shadow Ranger going for this Rod of Atos again. I love it. We'll see Ape Sama going to actually jump in here. He's going to Sakuchi away. Tinker's going to be in the mix, though. The Laser's going to get the kill on Solfu. Especially is going to be here, though. The Viper Strike's going to knock Tinker away and stop the cast of that rearm, so he has no chance to teleport. And Murd's now caught in a little bit of trouble. We see the Fiend's Grip on Dreams as well. Especially going to try and get up there and get some damage on him, doing a lot of right clicks right now because he is level 6. But Ape's back in the mix with the Chain Frost. Where's the bounce? It only hits once. Oh, what a disaster. We'll see Ape going to Sakuchi away here. He does have that Lincoln still active. Lucy's going to get killed there. Going to get killed by the Fade Bolt from Rubik. And is Ape really looking to go back in on this? He will have time lapse in 10. Oh, if he jumps in on that and gets a kill, I don't know what I'm going to do. He's waiting for that time lapse. Ready for this? Here we go. Hold your breath. Hold on to your seats. Ugh, okay, Frog's gonna dive. Oh, Frog dove so deep. So much damage. Now Ape is silenced. One more right click. Oh, he goes down. So close. Tinker gets the revenge kill on Rubik. He's in the mix as well. We'll see the laser on especially, as well as the Enfeeble. So especially going to be doing very little right now. He's on the run. He's going to try and gust, but it's not going to be enough. Bane gets that right click before he is pushed back. But, I mean, we saw the effectiveness of that gust right there. If Bane hadn't had that right click right on time, he would have gotten pushed back, and Drow might have survived that. So that's why people are picking Drow nowadays. It's still sort of pocket stratty, but it clearly works. We'll see Murd is actually going to be saving up for his Blink Dagger right now, so he will not be going for a Hood just yet, but I still think that would be a really good decision just because of Chain Frost and because of the Viper Strike. There's a lot of damage out there, and even getting a Pipe would be very good for his team. He will finish up the Blink Dagger by 20 minutes, which is a really good time for the offlane to be picking up an item like that. We'll see if Abe can get those boots next. I imagine he will not delay those any longer. But I was commenting on this Rod of Atos build from Shadow Ranger. This guy loves Lich offlane, and he loves Rod of Atos. This is the third game we've seen him build that. So very interesting, and there it is. Finishes that up. We'll see Dreams get the invisibility rune and spot out Murd here. And he actually is going to spot the courier as well. He could go for a lot of stuff here, but he's not going to go for anything. He's just going to go mid and try and help out his team. Lucy's going to get Atos. Stampede's going to come out on Ralphie. We see the Poison Nova is going to connect on 3. Fiend's Grip on Vengeful Spirit. Murd gets the kill on it, or Ralphie gets the kill on him, rather. Oh, Murd's going to be in the mix as well, though. Dream's going to eat the Nightmare. Venomans are going to go down to right clicks from Drow Ranger. Drow's going to go for more here. If she gets one slow on anybody, they could go down very easily. But they will back off here. It looks like there's some counter pushing going on from Weaver. Weaver's a very good pushing hero. Sort of slyly and quietly a very good counter pusher, so we will see that in full effect from Ape right now. If they don't rotate up, or TmG doesn't rotate up right now, they will lose this tower. So there's one teleport in from Vengeful Spirit. Do they have detection? They have no sentries on him, no sentries on him, no sentries on him. So they will not be able to kill this Weaver. Bet 2 rares on it. And meanwhile, Evu's just going to be pushing all manner of side lanes, as the Tinker is so known for. So it's going to be really hard for TmG to find picks right now. It's going to be really hard for them to find good team fights, which is sort of what they want, just because they have that Lich. They have a lot of advantages in team fights, but then again, Annie can get really good initiations with that Stampede. So we'll see if this is all about how Annie decides to play this. It depends on how much their Tinker commits to pushing lanes and how much their Weaver commits to pushing the opposite lane. Like, they're going to try and split push these side lanes and try and get TmG out of position right now. And Tempest Gaming is all focused and centered on mid right now. So if Tinker teleports to one of these side lanes, as we see right here, he'll be able to push that up, get a lot of gold. Weaver's going to be farming the opposite side lane and getting a lot of gold and solo XP, while TmG is just centered mid, splitting XP 4 different ways, spending a lot of gold on teleport scrolls to try and stop this push. So we'll see TmG is going to be trying to center some of their heroes elsewhere, not mid. They really should just try and get a smoke and a pick on one of these side lane pushing heroes. I think that it'd be better if they go for a pick on Tinker, just because Weaver is so elusive with Sakuchi, and they must bring some form of true set. We'll see Drow Ranger going for that BKB. We see 2 heroes committed to trying to kill him. Not going to get him, though. We'll see. Yeah, what TmG must do right now, and this is so hard to do. It's so easy to sit up here in my ivory tower and say this is what they have to do, when it's really, really challenging. They must smoke for one of the side lanes and wait for one of the pushing heroes to come up, and they must just set a trap and hope that it pays off. And if Tinker doesn't TP to that side lane, you just have to do it again, because you cannot do what they're doing. You cannot give so much farm to these side lane pushing heroes and then gutter your experience mid between your supports. You just cannot afford to do that. And especially when I actually get caught out there, that's so bad. No, this is exactly what you don't want to have happen in a split pushing situation like this. And now Tinker's got a Blink Dagger, so now it's going to be even much harder to do what I was talking about earlier, but they must do it. They simply do not have the pushing power to be able to push back both of these lanes and defend their mid tower simultaneously. Between Venomancer, Tinker, and Weaver, there is a lot of pushing power on Annie, even though it doesn't really seem like they have a whole lot. Let me tell you, they do. We still see no Soul Ring on Evu's Tinker. I would love to see him pick up a Soul Ring, even this late into the game. Let's go ahead and do an item check right now. We're going to see a Blink Dagger on Centaur, of course, and the Blink on Tinker. Going to probably be a Desolator for Weaver, and who still has no boots. Yeah, it certainly will be a Desolator now with that second Mithril Hammer. No boots still, so very interesting build there, just relying on Sakuchi.
Top tower has fallen.
And Dreams is actually in a really vulnerable position right now. Ape can certainly jump on him there. He's going to drop the bugs as well. Gust comes out from especially, though, so now Ape's in trouble. He's silenced as well. The Viper Strike's going to go through. They're going to get him. Oh, that silence lasted forever. He must have that skill to rank 4, and of course he does. So all 5 heroes committed to that for TmG, so now they must come to the opposite lane. Tinker will be looking to push bottom immediately, and Venomancer will look to push mid. So they've committed a lot of heroes to that, which is what they must do, and now they have to push as a team. Oh, Soulful's going to get caught up by Murd. What a play there. Stampede damage actually going to get the kill on that. 2 teleports coming out from TmG. We'll see if they can get the Rubik to get telekinesis on somebody. Poison Nova on 2. Lucy's going to get telekinesis, especially is there as well. It's a good trade for TmG right now. They'll trade that Vengeful Spirit, and but they don't get the deny on that tower. And now they're all so low from eating that Poison Nova, they must fall back. So very nice play there from the Venomancer on Annie to just get that Poison Nova out on everybody, because that limits the pushing power of TmG in this vital time when they have the Weaver killed. Since Weaver is dead, there is not as much side lane pushing risk So they must be pushing towers right now, but they're unable to because they're so low on HP. We'll see Evu continue to push, and he will be going for a Dagon. Look at that. I love it. I really think Annie's in a dominant position right now. TmG must try and find safe farm for their Drow Ranger, who has finished a BKB. Oh gosh, we're going to see Ralphie actually get the Fiend's Grip on Soulfu. Missile to follow. We'll see a Drow Ranger teleport in as well as the Lich. I think they'll be able to get this, get the Bane Elemental for sure. There's the Rod of Atos out on him. Frost Nova. Missile going to connect on especially, actually. And now Eva's out of mana. Oh gosh, he's got to be very careful. Oh, that was so dangerous. Oh, that was so close. He had that bottle, but he was playing with fire. That's why you have a Soul Ring. That's why you make the Soul Ring on Tinker right there. Oh man, if he didn't have the bottle there, that would have been a disaster. My goodness. He was trying to save his teammate there by lasering, especially just for the mischance, but he almost got himself killed there because he had to wait for the bottle charge. I mean, if TmG had known he was, I mean, they knew he was there, obviously. If they had vision on him and were able to get like even one right click to stop the bottle hits, would have been dead. Lich is going to get another kill on Weaver, so that must have been a Chain Frost swap kind of action. Yeah. So goodness gracious, Weaver gets killed again, and she had time lapse. I don't know how that happened. So 2 really, really big kills on Weaver there. I mean, Weaver's still going to be large. If we take a look at the net worth here, we're going to see Weaver well ahead of everybody. But Weaver, I mean, you got to be careful. I mean, Weaver's, you know, one of those heroes that sort of walks on the edge of a knife. You can do a lot of Sakuchi and time-lapse stuff, and you can look like a genius, but then sometimes you don't get the time-lapse off in time, and you look like an idiot. But that's just the nature of the hero. So let's go finish the item check I started like 20 minutes ago. In fact, we'll probably have to start all over again. We see Centaur getting that Sange, so we'll be going for a Heaven's Halberd against the Drow Ranger. Very smart to do that. Heaven's Halberd's a very, very good supporting item on those supports that aren't Intel-based. I really do like that. On heroes like Naga, especially, I like Heaven's Halberd a lot. When you play support Naga, of course. We'll see the Force Staff on the Venomancer. Very, very smart item pickup on that. Allows him to get Poison Novas that are very good and save his teammates from ugly situations. Tinker will finish that Dagon, though, so we'll look to see him go to work. And then, of course, the Desolator with Weaver, who still has no boots. Doesn't really want those boots. We'll see. Was that a Poison Nova from Rubik? He did steal the Poison Nova. Time Lapse comes out from Ape. See the Tinker TP as well. Laser on Shadow Ranger. Chain Frost, though. Oh, that could be so bad if he bounces right. Oh, but it doesn't. He was going to go down here. But now Ape might be in a little bit of trouble. He has no time lapse. The dust gets popped. He will not be able to remove that. The Lincolns will come off cooldown, though. They must try and get a Fade Bolt on him or something to disable that Lincoln Sphere. We'll see. Frog has stolen Sakuchi, so he will be able to pursue this. Oh, my goodness, but the dust will expire. Oh, we'll look to see if they can find him. Oh, gosh, they can't. Gotta look for that animation. Anyway, finish this item check. Gosh, really quickly now. Actually, no, we're not. Just kidding. We see Ape's going to get a kill on Soul Food. That's so frustrating, Ape for the Vengeful Spirit. And meanwhile, the split pushing continues. So, space created by Weaver there for Annie, and that will allow his teammates to just push towers. 3 dead for TmG right now. They cannot defend this. And Weaver is just so frustrating to play against. I imagine TmG was probably attempting to, or they probably wanted to pick him. I think Weaver went fairly early on in the draft. So, we will see Drow Ranger picking up that Aegis. Don't know when that happened. Oh, yes, I do. We watched. We'll finish up that Yasha, going for that Manta Style. We will see the Vengeful Spirit trying desperately for that Force Staff, but she's so far off. Rubik has very little except that Urn. We'll see Lich going for a Necro. Very, very important item. So key. They must have some kind of counter pushing, and Necro books are their only option right now. Viper will have that Aghanims. Invisibility. So right now TmG will have a decent amount of counter pushing and hold capacity for their tier 3s. But this tier 2, not long for this world, let me tell you. All Annie has to do is pressure the side lanes with Tinker or Weaver, and then their other 4 heroes can farm the jungle and then all converge at the same time on that mid tower. Force TmG to defend a side lane and push mid. We'll hear that Stampede come out. Bane's going to get killed by the Lich. And now Lich is actually going to be in a lot of trouble. The Blink stun from Murd. We'll see the Viper Strike as well. Poison Nova is going to connect on 3, though, so this is really bad for TmG the longer this goes. Missiles connect from Tinker from the high ground. He's going to rearm and launch more. He could get some easy kills here if he blinks up. Not going to do it, though. We'll see Viper going to work on some illusions. We'll see the Venomancer get a kill on the Lich just from those poisons and the dots. We'll see a lot of TPs coming out. Frog's going to go on Ape Sami here. The Silence connects. The Lincolns gets popped. So much damage. The Silence lasts for so long. And the Telekinesis. What a play by Frog. Oh my gosh. If you didn't see what happened there, the Silence came from especially to stop the time lapse. Right when the Silence ended, Frog lifted. They barely stacked up at all. It was perfect timing on that Telekinesis just to stop the Weaver from time-lapsing, and they got that kill. So a third pick on Weaver. Goodness gracious. So T3s do continue to stand, as well as this Tier 2, and the longer that goes, the better it is for TmG. Although Drow Ranger, Drow and Weaver both are sort of semi-carries. Obviously, in this context, they're both being played as the one role on their team, so they're the hardest carries on both teams by far. I think, Weaver probably, in a traditional length game, I don't think Weaver will outcarry Drow, even though Drow's ultimate 80, the marksmanship for 80 agility, will pale in comparison to Geminate attack in extreme late game context, like, the 70, 80-minute games when everyone's 6-slotted. That Geminate will be a better ability to have. But 80 agility is so much. I mean, it's so much to just have. Frog's going to actually catch Ralphie out here, and he's going to put him up on the high ground. Although Ralphie does have 3 teleport scrolls and a blink dagger, so he will come right back down. But Frog still has this Sakuchi, and this is such an important ability. But now the spell steal will run out, so he will not have that anymore. We'll see a swap on Ralphie, so now the Bane's in a really rough spot. We'll see the Stampede as well. Lucy's going to drop the Poison Nova on 3. We'll see the Dagon Taker blinking in. Mur's going to take a lot of damage. Chain Frost did a huge amount of work there, so it's a 1 for 3 for TmG right now. Meanwhile, bottom, Ape's going to try and push this lane. Pinged down immediately by the Rubik, who is dead and has nothing else to worry about. We'll see if TmG can push this mid tower and then teleport. We'll see Viper teleport back immediately. Age is going to be reclaimed in 1 minute. Ape's going to actually get the... oh, gosh, the Lincoln's tanks the Viper Strike. So we'll see. Ape's going to dive here so deep. Where's the teleports? Where is his team? Sakuchi comes out. One more right click's going to do it. Oh, he was so close to the fountain. Drow's going to get a kill on Tinker mid in the meantime. They will take this tier 2, but now they've got to come back and try and stop Ape from getting this tower. Every amount of damage on this tower right now is so bad for TmG. We'll see Shadow Ranger going to come back. Not going to be able to stop anything, though. So very interesting series of trades there. The score is 22-22. That was a very good series for TmG. The only thing that could have gone better is maybe defending this tower a little bit sooner. But of course, Viper bit the bullet right about there. Just crawling on his hands and knees, trying to get into the healing waters of that fountain. Not going to make it, though. Oof. Weaver still no boots. This is total madness. A lot of people I know just love doing this build on Weaver when you never get boots, but I really don't like it. I don't know why. It's just me being biased, I guess. Ape's going to try and get a kill there on Frog. Frog will likely look to get Sakuchi again. He seemed to really like having Sakuchi and Rubik, which is, of course, a great ability to steal. And he had that until it literally ran out, which is usually something that doesn't happen. Ooh, we could see a D-ward there. Really unfortunate to have that be spotted out so quickly. Let's go ahead and do a quick... We actually see a 4-step on Viper, so that's a very interesting item to pick up on him. I guess... Yeah, I guess it makes sense. When you Viper Strike, it's good to close distance, so you can maximize the number of right clicks you get before the hero can run away from you. Yeah, I like that. I like 4-steps in general. Very good item. See the bugs coming on Sulfu right now. Don't connect on him, though. So we see so much map control out from TmG right now. They see everything right now. Murd has finished his Heaven's Halberd, though. They will immediately come up and rotate here. We see Tinker going to split push the side lane. We'll keep an eye on that. We see TmG doing a lot of 5-manning right now. And 5-manning when you're up against a split push is sir miss. Either you get into the lane with your whole team and there's a person there trying to split push, or they aren't there. And if they aren't there, they're split pushing the other lane. So you've committed all 5 heroes to the opposite side of the map that you want them to be on. So it's coin flipping, I guess. Lucy going to get caught up by a telekinesis and a swap. Stampede's not even going to save him. That was very strange. We saw him 4-staff himself. So a little bit of weird animation went on there. Frog says, I lulled. I lulled too, bro. We're going to see especially doing some diving here along... we We see Tinker doing some diving, rather. Especially going to be there to defend. This tower takes some more damage. Meanwhile, Ape's going to split push the other side lane. This is what I'm talking about. So they must kill these illusions. You have to get up there and do that. Oh, gosh. You really don't want to do that, to let the illusions kill you like that. We see this Necro 3 creep, though. So very important for that true sight. But they shouldn't waste their time chasing Weaver. Very rarely going to catch him, and Tinker's going to split push the side lane in the meanwhile. So I'm surprised to see TmG overcommitting so greatly on these side lane pushes. You must split your team up. You can't let the towers take so much damage right now. I mean, just think if they keep doing what they're doing for the next 5 minutes. I mean, both of these towers are going to be dead. You just cannot afford to do that. You must have the towers last as long as possible. And the Weaver Manta-style illusions with the Desolator do a substantial amount of damage. I mean, I give this 4 or maybe 5 more rounds of Weaver trying to do that, and that tower will go down. You must focus those. You must cast the spells that you want to save for real heroes on those illusions. It's imperative that you keep those towers up. And when you're getting split push like this, it's very important to split up your team a little bit. If you commit 5 heroes, you're committing 0 heroes to the other lane, and you just cannot afford to do that without taking a huge amount of damage to your tower. See, Ape's going to be caught well deep behind enemy lines right now. The Stampede will do a lot of damage, and especially get blown up. That's a huge pick for Annie. I think they will get another kill here with the Fiend's Grip. Yep, there it is. Laser's going to get the kill. 2 for 0 right now for TmG, and those are 2 very important heroes for, 2 for 0 for Annie rather, on 2 very important heroes for TmG. That will allow them to take a Roshan here. I don't think anything TmG can do will stop it. They could drop a Chain Frost in here, but so much vision from Lucy coming out from these playwards. I would love to see one up on the high ground there. There's the Chain Frost. Oh, Lucy's gonna use the 4-step. So smart. And now TmG really cannot afford to be here, but the Tinker's going to TP in behind him. They're caught between a rock and a hard place right now. The 4-step in from Dreams. They're going to try and steal this Aegis. This is so ballsy. Mer's going to get the stone on 2, though. Roshan's so close to being dead. There it goes. Dire gets the kill. Who gets the Aegis, though? It's right there. Viper gets it. Oh, he got it. They got it. They snatched Roshan and the Aegis. I cannot believe that. Dreams made a huge play there. Lucy's going to be in a huge amount of trouble right now, taking a lot of damage. Rubik spell stole Poison Nova and got it out on absolutely everybody. What a play. I cannot believe that happened. God. What a disaster for Annie. They dodged that Chain Frost like bosses. Lucy managed to just take that one hit, and that was it. And then Tinker was right there. I thought that was going to be a team wipe for TmG, but they made that play happen. Oh, that was awkward. Roshan was one hit from being murdered for about 10 seconds. That's the longest range Dagon I've ever seen in my life on Evu there. So potentially a turning point in this game right now, particularly with the golden XP. Very similar. Annie's taking a gold advantage, but TmG taking an XP lead. And Ape's gonna get caught out here a little bit. Weaver's gonna stampede. And Sakuchi, a little bit redundant there. And he finally has boots. He's got the boots of travel, which is a pushing item on Weaver. That will allow him to be in and out of lanes as fast as possible. And Frog has gotten Sakuchi stolen again. So his item, or his ability of choice, it seems, when it's not Poison Nova, it's Sakuchi, and he does have a Blink Dagger, so that will improve his mobility. We'll see if Evu goes for a Sheep Stick here. That would be very important, even though Drown Ranger has a BKB. And this is really smart from Drown Ranger, from especially here on TmG. She got this BKB probably 20 minutes into the game, and she's only used it once. The duration is still so long on that. We'll see Frog and a Sakuchi through Evu here. He's got to be really careful. The boots of travel come out, but they're not going to get him. Oh, that was very close. Dreams might be in a bit of, not Dreams. We see Abe might be in a little bit of trouble here. He does use Time Lapse. He does have Manta Style, and the Link is activated still. Frog's going to drop the Fade Bolt, and he could get jumped on here. DD on Weaver. Oh, that could be big problems. But the Sakuchi on Rubik. Very nice. So we'll see the Necro 3 up on Lich, as we saw a while ago. And this is what I'm talking about. There's nobody here. You got it. Oh, my gosh. Frog's going to drop the Telekinesis. The Viper Strike connects as well. Ape, does he have Time Lapse? No, he doesn't. He's silenced as well. There's the sentry down from Frogs. He's really committing to this. He must try and get a kill here. Time Lapse going to be up in 5 seconds, but now that Weaver is low health, it won't really matter. We see Stampede coming out. We'll see the Blink as well. Where is it? Where are they? They're chasing Weaver so much. There's a big push coming top. If they continue to chase... Oh, he's trapped. Time Lapse takes him back. Oh, this is so awkward. You cannot catch Weaver ever. You will never get him. You lead a constant life of frustration. And Frog is feeling it right now in the trees. He's like in timeout right now, having to think about what he did. Oh, that was. I know that feel, bro. I've been there. And now we'll see the split pushing coming up. And look at how low this tower is. Oh, the split pushing from Annie is so effective right now. Frog's going to catch Lucy out here with the telekinesis, but I'm not sure if that's going to be a place where he wants to be. He will blink to safety, of course. Missile's going to fly. Will connect on Shadow Range right now. He must return to the fountain. So, this, I mean, when this tower fell, we saw a lot of... There was no heroes past this line for TmG. They were all committed up on that top lane, and you simply cannot afford to do that. It's one of the hardest things in all of Dota to organize with your team and say, one of you, you two go bottom, us three stay top, and no matter what happens, you don't come, even if it looks bad for us. Because even if it looks bad for us, and we're taking like a 2-for-3 trade or something like that, you cannot allow that tower to go undefended, because that Weaver will come up and murder you. Especially he's taking so much damage right now. Time lapse out from Weaver. The magic missile will connect. We'll see if they have telekinesis. They don't. Dust does connect, but they aren't going to be able to get there in time. And now they've left. Shadow Ranger is alone to defend this, and Ralph is going to blink up and get the Fiend's Grip. Gale to follow, Myrtle stun, and double edge. And this is what I'm talking about. There's so many heroes committed elsewhere. TmG is getting pulled apart right now by Annie. Especially is going to start dropping right clicks on Myr, but the return damage is doing a lot against, especially he must try and get a lifesteal item or something. Viper Strike's going to connect on Ralphie, so it'll get him for virtually nothing, but especially is on the Roman. I asked to pop a BKB charge. There's the Gust on 2. We'll see him start going to work on Tinker. He goes down. Aegis gets popped on Viper. We'll see a huge crit on Viper, so it's a double kill for especially, but I don't think he'll be able to kill that Centaur. He can't even right click. It's going to be very dangerous up to Dreams. He gets the kill, but Weaver's going to split push this bot lane. The racks have fallen down there. So they defend that 3-for-4, but at what cost? The bot racks have gone down.
Dire's middle tower
So TmG's just having a real hell of a time trying to defend this very, very potent split push in a lineup that doesn't really look like a pushing lineup. I mean, they've got the Venomancer and they've got Tinker, which are really, really good pushers, but I did not expect this Weaver to commit so heavily to split pushing. I mean, there have been 2 or 3 team fights where Ape has just said, nope, I'm not coming. I am not coming to that party, man. I got racks to kill. And he's just very, very focused on pushing those lanes, which is, I think, is what is most important for them right now. Drow Ranger is such a good team fighting hero, but not a good pushing hero at all. Has very little utility outside of just the single target right-clicking DPS that she brings to the table. And now Venomancer has an Aghanim Scepter. So he will be doing a great deal of damage against TmG in these team fights. And I have to say, we've seen Lucy's Venomancer 2 or 3 times, been caught in rough situations, drops Poison Nova on absolutely everybody, and then Lucy will die on the Venomancer, but then that will stop the push from TmG. 2 or 3 times that's happened, and it's the reason that these towers are still alive and still up, and the reason why these lanes haven't been pushed. Just because TmG will take a team fight and they'll be like, I'm at a 3rd health, I don't really want to fight, I don't want to push, I just want to go back to the fountain and luxuriate in my spa. And it's very hard to do that. We see a smoke Inviscera rather from Ralphie. So they spot a sentry and he'll get picked off for nothing right now. The Gale's going to connect on 2, but Lucy's got to be very careful here. He can get picked off very easily. But we see Ape Sama going to try and backdoor these racks, and they have creeps in the base. Oh no, they've got creeps in the base. They must glyph this. Glyph it. Oh gosh. It is only a ranged barracks, but that's very, very bad. We see Ape's going to actually TP out of here without consequence. So TMG's just their base defense is just failing right now. They really have to have the awareness to know that there are creeps in the base, so your racks can be vulnerable. And look at how many sentries they have. They have sentries all over the place trying to stop this split pushing and the pushing from Weaver, but it is so very hard. I really think this goes back all the way to the draft. I really do think that TMG wanted to pick Weaver instead of Drow Ranger. I really think that that's what happened, but Annie probably just saw it coming. And we'll see Weaver picking up that harp. We can take a look at the items really quickly. We have a bit of a lull. We're going to see the Ghost Scepter on Bane as well as the Venomancer, so good items there. We see Centaur with a Heart and a Halberd though, so he's going to be very hard to bring down. We see the heart on the Weaver as well, who is max level. We'll see him probably sell that Hand of Midas for something more substantial. See Drow finishing up the Daedalus, though, so it's not over for TMG just yet. They're going to go down fighting here. We see Viper with a Blade Mill as well. That's a good one to get against the Weaver, of course. And they have a gem as well, so they're going to try and make something happen here. They're smoked up. Soulfu's going to get caught out by the Tinker, but Tinker will be caught out by Soulfu's friends right now. Chainfrost only going to hit on one. It will take the Tinker down. Stampede's going to get everybody else to safety, though, especially going to pop a BKB charge and look for more. They're going to try and get Lucy here. Where's the blink? Off cooldown. Oh, he's actually got dotted up, so he won't be able to blink, but they will be able to get Lucy here. Double edge from Rubik. So cute. Poison Ward's going to get dropped down, but the Weaver is pushing the Rax. Meanwhile, and they could look for more here. If they must, TMG must TP back right now. They cannot. They're caught, but they're caught in no man's land right now. They can't push, and they must TP back to defend. And if they try and push, they're going to lose this game right now. Shenron's going to come back and pop the Lincolns. We'll see the swap on Soulfu. Apesama's going to start tanking tower hits, but he's got the tower. He's got the heart. He's so tanky. We'll see Ralphie and Murd both going to try and come up and defend the Weaver right now. Rubik is dead. Where is Drow Ranger? Where, oh where? She's pushing mid with Viper. They're trying to throw in here. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to keep their supports back in the base to defend against Weaver. They're trying to throw in. Murd's going to get a stun on both of them, though. Double edge as well, and especially we see a TP in from the Lich. So much damage going on. Apesum is actually teleported back. We see a Chainfrost going to do a lot of damage. Viper Strike as well on Murd. They could go for this, especially going to take a lot of damage, though, from Weaver. Oh, he's going to go down. And that, I think, will be the end. That will probably be the death knell. The bell will toll. Dreams will go down here. Triple kill for Weaver. Gem on the deck. That was the last gasp for TMG. That they really tried to make something happen there. You buy a gem and you smoke up. It's a dangerous play, but it's a risky play. But that was their best chance to win. I think they made the right call there. But things have just gone on too long. See a nice swap in there from Soulfu. We'll see this Tinker trying to TP out, and he will get the kill there on Vengeful Spirit, but it's more important that they get the kill on the Tinker. But meanwhile, their mid-racks are in jeopardy. I don't think they'll be able to defend this. We have to check the buyback status here. No buyback on the Drow. So close to that. We'll see an engagement here. We'll see Frog tank the Stomp. Going to drop that Ghost Scepter. Ralphie going to drop the Fiend Script as well. Frog's going to try and get out of here, but Ape is at full health. And they will not be able to ignore that problem for very long. Dream's going to get cut out here. The Fiend Script stolen by Rubik. Oh, he saves his Viper. He will pay for it with his life, though. Great play there by Frog, but I think it's too little too late. He will buy back immediately, but he will walk straight into Weaver, who's doing so much damage right now.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
We're going to see the final set of barracks probably going to go down here. They're taking the T4s, actually. That's a very good idea, actually, to take those instead of the barracks. We'll see Evu going to jump in here. Dream's taking a lot of damage. Lucy going to drop the Fade Bolt. And the Poison Nova from Lucy doesn't really connect anybody. That's going to be the GG. And that's going to be it for this best of 5 series. What a series from TMG and Annie. Great series. The Russians win, as you can see. So you win this time, Europe. Tempest Gaming declaring that the French Canadians will not take this one lying down. They will be back. And I'm sure they will be. But what a series. What a game. Especially that 5th game. Very, very strong showing from both teams. But that mid-game split push between Tinker and Weaver. So hard. So hard to play against. And we just saw TMG unable to have the counter pushing that they would have needed to survive that strategy. And Annie could have played this differently. I mean, they could have gone for a more conventional strategy where they didn't push quite as hard. And they might have lost this game. I mean, they really showed great game awareness and game sense, sort of switching up what they were going to do. Or maybe they were planning on doing this from the start. I don't know. But if they were planning on doing something standard, then looked at the lineup and said TMG has no counter pushing really. We should just split the map up and push. I imagine that's what the plan was. You got to hand it to them. They really